Hello everyone, I'm Elizabeth Shaw and this channel is all about the narcissistic personality disorder and ways to recover from narcissistic abuse. This video is about letting go of anger and resentment either when the narcissist is coming with their endless games at you or even long after the narcissistic relationship has ended. You feel anger. We all feel anger when someone provokes us in some way, and narcissistic people are excellent at provoking people and using their weaknesses against them. And this often leads to resentment. We have no control over someone else provoking our anger. So how do you handle it? Do you usually start an argument with them, seek revenge on them, lash out at them? Do you react in some way, sending messages to them? And then most likely they'll either blame shift it onto you or twist it onto something completely off topic, making you even more angry, hurt, and filling that resentment up even more towards them. When it's in the moment and you react, it gives you a moment's release. Yet you then feel bad for reacting. You then blame yourself, which doesn't help because the narcissist will also be blaming you. And then you start questioning whether you should have reacted, whether you could have done things differently, and it sends you into overdrive of overthinking again. So if you've learned not to react or not to seek revenge, when they pull a new stunt that causes you to feel angry, you cannot control what they do. You can control how long you hold on to that anger and how long you let it affect you. You go through 3 emotional feelings. First is the anger when they provoke you. Then comes the rage, which is when you want to react and they want you to react. And then comes the resentment as you feel bad for how you reacted or holding on to that anger. When you understand that they have a disorder, narcissistic personality disorder, you can start to take a step back and reevaluate your perspective on it all. They don't have the emotional intelligence to think or feel like others do. They live in constant fear, and that fear holds them back. That others will view them for who they truly are. They act out to make you fear them. They do not have the capacity to put themselves in another person's shoes. They are actually quite foolish as they cannot find their own inner happiness and have to destroy others to fill their own needs. When you realise this, and then you start to pity them, you'll want them nowhere near you. But you will get to a point where you do actually start to feel sorry for them because something happened to them which isn't your fault. And you can't help them with that. That does not excuse the way they have treated you, but it gives you that inner peace to move on with your life and leave them be. The A-Teams, if you ever watched it, Mr. T, I pity the fool. And when you start to pity them, life does become easier. A definition of pity, Merriam-Webster defines pity as sympathetic sorrow for one suffering, distressed, or unhappiness. When you pity someone, you lose the anger. You no longer feel the need to react, and you no longer hold on to that resentment. Now, with a narcissistic person, when you can understand the games that they play and why they play them, when you understand that you're in a fight with them, and a fight that they want to win, and they will twist it and turn it onto anything and everything they can to keep you playing in that fight. The only way you can win a fight with a narcissistic person is to step out of the ring and no longer join in. You cannot control what someone says, but you can always take control of your reactions. It takes work at first, but it becomes easier, and you can hit that point if you have a wish and a drive to do so. How do you not react? You've got to remember it will never hurt the person as much as it hurts you. How to lose the resentment. Keeping the thought in your mind that when you keep hold of resentment, you're allowing someone to live in your mind without paying any rent. Pattern interrupt and shift them straight back out of your headspace. Now, pattern interrupt is when someone subconsciously comes into your mind and you don't want them there. You have then got to consciously shift them straight back out. Either by telling yourself, no, I'm not thinking about them. I'm not thinking about that. I am doing this right now. I am thinking of my future. I am dreaming of this. Or bringing yourself into the present moment. If you're cooking tea, go through the actions in your mind of what you're doing. If you're watching telly, focus on the words. Whatever you're doing at the moment, bring yourself back into that moment. It is difficult at first. It is a learning curve. It's like when you're learning to write. If you're right-handed and you pick up a pencil to write with your left hand, it's going to be messy and it's going to be unrecognisable and it's going to be hard work and it's going to take time and it's going to take effort, but you will get there. So shifting them out of your mind will seem awkward at first, but you will get there as long as you practice it. There is nothing wrong with anger. It's a human reaction when you're provoked. It's served actually to protect you. When you react, however, you most likely feel guilt for how you reacted, for why you reacted, which also lasts a lot longer than that temporary relief from your reactions. Narcissistic people live with that inner shame on a daily basis. They don't feel guilt, they only feel shame, which is why they project it onto other people to remove the shame from within themselves. Gain reactions from other people and blame the other people for the reactions, removing all the shame. Yet it's only a temporary fix for them. Don't feel guilty when you feel angry. Just process that anger the right way. You cannot fix who they are. They cannot fix who they are. It did not start with you. It will not end with you. You can, however, fix how you feel for a far happier and a much more fulfilling life for you. It all takes time, it all takes work, and it all takes effort. If you keep going with a mindset of where you want to be 6 months from now, a year from now, you will get there. Believe in yourself. Always be cautious around the narcissist. Do not stop living how you want to because of them. But if you fail to prepare, then you prepare to fail. So always keep your guard up and stay safe. Most will not act out, but you do need to be vigilant around those without empathy for other people. Now, when it comes to narcissistic people, another one that you can do is retreat. So when they're coming at you, retreat from the situation. If it's via messages or email, leave it be and go back to it when you're calm. If it's face to face, find an excuse to leave, or just use their own words against them and say, that's not my problem, and then go and retreat, and then rethink the whole situation in its entirety, and then only respond if you absolutely have to do so. Observing them. Once you start this pattern, now we all slip up. Well, maybe not all of us. Most of us slip up when we try not to react to them because they know how to push all your emotional buttons. But once you start practicing not reacting to them and only responding if needed, you'll see the pattern of games, the cycle of games they play. Once you observe their behaviour and don't absorb their words, you'll see how they cycle round, and that's when it becomes far easier to take a step back, know what they're going to do next, and not react or not respond to them. Also, not reacting and not responding, if you want to look at it as revenge and karma, that is the best revenge. Narcissistic people cannot stand it when they are no longer in the centre of somebody else's world and they are not getting reactions from people. Now, when it's in the past, and if you've finally managed to shake that narcissist out of your life, we often go into autopilot to escape the pain, never truly dealing with the emotions at that time. As I said earlier, anger is a normal emotion and serves us to defend ourselves by a shield to deflect the pain and avoid the true cause of the emotions, a sense of our own control over a situation where we feel completely powerless. Or it was more comfortable to focus on the past and others' wrongdoing towards us than heal ourselves from the pain and the trauma that we went through. Resentment is also a normal emotion. Resentment is when the anger dies down, yet we still have negative feelings towards those that have hurt us in the past, especially in unimaginable ways that we don't even see happening at the time. So a few ways to recover from past anger and resentment is write out the reasons you feel resentment and anger, and then the underlying cause, the true problem, the true reason for why you feel anger and resentment, such as hurt, fear. Write those down, and then write down that it's in the past and that let it go, you can release it, it's in the past, and write down where you are in your present and where you want to be in your future. Observe it when it comes into your mind. Write what triggered that thought and write down what happened in the past again. Identify that as you didn't know the situation in its entirety at the time you were going through it. That's why you didn't help yourself sooner, because you didn't see it happening through all their gaslighting, manipulation, silent treatment, projection, blame shifting. Acknowledging the fact that you helped yourself as soon as you could, and be proud that you did. Share the feelings with supportive people who understand you and have been through similar situations. Learn relaxation techniques. When you feel anger and resentment, taking in deep breaths in and out for 30 seconds or a minute. Concentrate and focus on that breathing. Look for things that you can be grateful for in your life now, even if it's the fact that they're no longer in your life, and you can have a peaceful day. Mediation and yoga can also help you, as well as some essential oils. Resist the urge to take it out on those who didn't cause the pain. Some people subconsciously do this. Talk to them and explain to them instead. Good people will understand and they will want to help you. Remember, it's in your past. You cannot change your past. You do not need to carry it into your future. Releasing it will make life so much easier. Realising that whatever you're holding on to it, it's keeping you back in the present moment. That those feelings are no longer serving you in your present day, and that you do deserve much better. The longer you hold on to anger, hurt, pain, resentment, betrayal, or loss from your past, the less you'll be able to enjoy, love, and appreciate and be happy in your present. Now, what you've got to remember is you can break the cycle. You can move past this. You have got the capabilities. You have already survived so much, and you can survive this and overcome this too. A narcissistic person is always going to be trapped in that same cycle with the same anger and the same resentment to whoever hurt them in the past, and they cannot break free from it. You can break free, and you will break free, and you will move on to a much happier life for you. Thank you for listening. Bye.